So good morning and welcome, and we're going to get right into it. So I wanted to make a present for just decor, just to sit around my house, and I looked everywhere and they can be so costly. So this is my DIY from Dollar Tree. So I purchased a roll of the Crafter Square vinyl that they are now selling for Crickets at the Dollar Tree. And that's what I'll be using here in this video to draw and trace my popcorn basket out of. So this popcorn basket also is from the Dollar Tree. And all I'm doing is just laying down my basket, and I'm tracing out my vinyl here, and we're just going to stick it on each side of the popcorn basket. Now, of course, with using vinyl, when you lay your vinyl, you're going to have bubbles. So just be mindful of that and try to, pull your bubbles out the best you can. Now here, when I laid this red on top of this particular stripe side with the popcorn symbol, you could see through it just a tad bit. But as you'll see later on in the video, we just took some Christmas ornaments and put around it, and it covers it right up. So again, here we are. We're going to trace all four sides, and we're going to lay the vinyl. And once we're done with the vinyl, we're going to go and we're just going to scrape and make sure there's no bubbles left anywhere on all four sides, excuse me. Now, while we're laying this, I will go ahead and tell you that you can do these in any way you like. I put just the main things that you will need for this project at the beginning of the video. These are just some of the main pieces you'll need, like your vinyl, your popcorn basket, your glue, things of that nature. But you can choose whatever style, color vinyl you would like. You can put this together a plenty of different ways, but this is just my way. This is just a quick way just to show you how you can do it and have these in your home, just sitting around for decor around Christmas. Now this part can be time consuming, making sure you get your little curves at the top of the popcorn basket right. So just be mindful of that. This is a quick DIY, but this part here can be a little time consuming, trying to make sure you get your curves right. Now here on the bottom, all I did was just take a couple of scrap pieces from, my four squares and put on the bottom just to cover it up. I didn't want it to be, sitting there with the tag hanging out. I tried to pull the tag off, but of course it pulled. So here goes into the next part. So all I'm going to do here is just take my foam board, and I am going to trace out the top of my popcorn box. I could not find my styrofoam cutter, so I used my good scissors. This is not something you want to do. So it takes me just a few minutes to get it all cut out, but eventually I do. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this top and we're going to glue it to the top of our popcorn basket. So once we get it all cut out, I'm just going to take the piece of foam board that I have, and what I did was I cut just a little bit extra so it would have a little overhang on each side because of the way the top of the basket is shaped. I just wanted to make sure that everything stayed down good and firm and it didn't try to pop up, pop off, So all I do here is I just take my glue gun and I just run it around for extra support. Try to hold it still for just a couple of seconds to make sure it's not going to pop up. So now, going back to what I said earlier about the little popcorn signs on two sides of the popcorn box. So these are the ornaments that I chose to cover up that popcorn sand. But once I added them to just the two sides, I said, you know, I want to add them to all four sides. So that's what I ended up doing. And it turned out so pretty. Now these were a pick that I had from last year that I just cut the tops off of and just used the little 4 snowflakes that was on the pick. So these was not purchased from Dollar Tree. They were just something that I already had in my inventory. Now, this is the fun part. This is what I love the most. This is where your lightweight spackle is going to come into play. I've already mixed this, but this is just lightweight spackle, white paint, and some glitter. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rub it all over the top. And I'm going to do some little circular motions on the side just to kind of look like the snow is falling. Now, you can do this in any shape, any form you would like. This is just what I done to make it look like, you know, the snow was falling off of the top of the present. But this is a really simple look. It's very easy. You just get the little dollar container of lightweight spackle from Dollar Tree, some paint, some acrylic paint, white, whatever color you will. Mix it all together with a little bit of glitter and you're done. Now all I'm doing here, I just used a little popsicle stick from Dollar Tree as well, and all I'm doing now is just kind of tapping around just to give it that extra little snowy look, Christmassy look, the whimsical look, whatever you will. And it just made it look so much better, guys. I really love this part. I love working with this stuff nowadays. Now, I did leave the center of my present with no spackle just so I could glue down my ribbon and, you know, my little different ornaments that I'm going to put on it just to give it that extra little whimsical touch. Now here, I did not like the ribbon I chose. For whatever reason, I decided to change up my ribbons at this point. It just, that red on that Christmas present that we did with the red vinyl, it just isn't, it just didn't go well with the red ribbon that I picked out. So you'll see I keep picking up ribbons, trying to come up with the right red. And finally, I find the one that I really want to use. Now, you can make your bow any way you like. I just like to use my hands to make my bows. I have every bow maker known, and this is just a very quick, easy way to make bows. It's just my way. You can make them any way you like. So I did find a 4-inch, and this is what I do recommend for the top of this box, is a 4-inch and then a 2.5-inch. But again, it's your choice. It's just a 4-inch gives the whole top coverage. Now, I do not recommend putting this bow on top of the wet spackle at this point. But because of video purposes, I went ahead and done it. But really, you're going to want to give that spackle at least a couple of days to dry. It takes about a week for it to fully dry. But before you go adding ornaments and ribbon and bows, I'm just going to tell you, give it a couple days just to let the top of it kind of harden up before you go try and put the bow on top. So I'm just fluffing out my bow, dovetailing all my ends, because you know a bow is not a bow without the dovetail. So here I'm just going to finish dovetailing everything out, fluffing my bow, and then we're going to place it on top of the present. Now, you do want to make sure that your ribbon tails aren't too long. You want everything to poke up, poke out, be beautiful, fluffy. You want it to stand tall on top of your present. Now, I did just add just a little bit of dust on top of the glitter. This is just optional. You don't have to do it. This is just something I chose to do. And it just gives it that extra whimsical look. I do go around though, however, and I add some dry snow to my spackle just to kind of give it that extra snowy look. I loved how it turned out. This snow here was purchased off of Amazon last year. I will try to get the link for it and post it. If anybody needs it, just let me know. I'll try to find it. It's a special type of snow. It is not the snow from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to put that out there. It came from Amazon. So, okay, now since we got our snow done, we're just, like I said, we're going to add our boat. Now, I did take just a little pin and poke in it so it would stick down into the foam board and the glue. It would all hold everything right there in the center in place, and you don't ever have to worry about it popping off. So I pop it down, get everything fluffed out, and then from this point, I'm just going to add a few ornaments. I did find some pine cones, some berry branches. I used a few of them, and then I pulled out some old furry boot ornaments that I found from last year's Christmas collection that I had, and I just start dressing it up. And it turns out like a beauty, as you will see here in just a moment. Now, these berries and branches come from the Dollar Tree. The little pine cones come from the Dollar General. Last year, I think I bought that whole pack for $1. They were like 80% off. But you can find these Dollar Tree, Dollar General, anywhere. And this turned out so pretty, guys. So, so pretty. And please do not forget to subscribe to see more of my awesome DIYs.